Hello, hello, and welcome to Notary Life with Kimmi. I am here with Angela. We are part of the Notary Educators team. Half of the team is here. Others might trickle in. We don't know, but either way, we getting ready to do this. Hello, welcome, and welcome to those who will join us on the replay and those who will listen to the podcast. In case you didn't know, yes, we have a podcast, Notary Educators. All right, guys, tonight we are talking about apostille mistakes to avoid. What mistakes? Because there are a lot of mistakes. A lot of things can go wrong when we're dealing with apostilles. We'll give YouTube a few minutes to notify people. How is everyone's day going? Where are you chiming in from? What's up? What's up? First of all, are you even doing apostilles? Do you know what an apostille is? We'll let Angela explain what it is in just a moment, and then we'll get into it. So let's see. YouTube take a second, y'all, and then we'll get right into it. Nothing to it but to do it. Hey, people, welcome. How's everyone doing today? What is new? What is new? What is new? All right, we are going to get started because you're on time. I'm on time. So we got to get this show on the road. So, Angela, can you explain for the people? Before we get started, everyone that's here, are you actually doing apostilles? Put a 1 if you're doing them or a 0 if you're not. Are you currently doing apostilles? A 0 if you're not doing them, and a 0 if you don't even know what it is. 1 if you are doing them. Let's see. Okay, Sable Keys, welcome. Says they know what an apostille is. Very good. 0 for Blessed Sister. Levon says, great, thank you. Yes, familiar. Okay, cool. Okay, we got some 1s, mostly zeros. Mostly zeros. Okay, Angela, what? Mostly zeros. Yep. So what is an apostille, Angela?
So basically, when documents have to be used in other countries, apostilles are when there has to be a certificate on the document. So that certificate authenticate or legalize the document so the other countries will accept them. And there are so many different reasons why people would need documents apostille. Just a couple. If a person has a power of attorney, they need to be used in another country. If a person wants their birth certificate, needs their birth certificate so they can have dual citizenship. Anything that they may have to deal with a work or start a company in another country, all of those documents plus many more have to be apostille. So they have to have a certificate on the document certifying or legalizing them in order to be used. And mainly it's to avoid fraud. Just like a notary has to sign documents to avoid fraud, then these documents have to be apostille or legalized in order to avoid fraud in other countries. And so it's issued by the state or the Department of State or the Secretary of State, depending on what state you're in.
That's a lot of state going on, ain't
Right.
it? So you got it clear. Basically, somebody else hired in the notary got to touch the paper.
Right.
Got to touch that piece of paper before it can be used outside of the great United States. All right. So that's what it is. So we want to help you to not make mistakes when you're processing them. Okay. Because a lot of things can go wrong when you start doing apostilles. Okay. And I just want to tell you, do you want to go first, Angela, or you want me to go first?
We can just, well, I'll just go do one simple one, and then you can tell about your experience.
Okay.
The first mistake that you don't want to make is sending the document to the wrong authority to be apostille. Because if it has to go to the state and you send it to the Secretary of State, or if it has to go to the federal and you send it to the Secretary of State, or vice versa, it's going to prolong the process, and then that's going to affect your client. So the first mistake you don't want to make is sending the document to the wrong authority.
Oh, that is so true because that will slow down the process. We don't want to do anything that's going to slow down the process. Okay. And that's where my story comes into play. All right, y'all know I always got a story, right? So my client And I called Angela on this a couple times actually, because it was kind of one of those things where it was intense. Well, intense for me, because y'all know I just really started doing them last year, and this year I've gotten even more. So hopefully 2025 will be my year to blow up doing apostilles, because I really want to focus on that as a big part of my business. Still doing everything, ink fingerprinting, general notary work. And now, like I said, this year is the most apostilles I've completed. So I'm like, yes. So anyway, what happened with my client is they are trying to relocate to the Dominican Republic, and they had a Florida marriage certificate. With the marriage certificate, it really needed to be, okay, let's start over. With the marriage certificate from Florida, I'm in Georgia. It had to be processed in Florida. Well, my client had the original. They've been married for 20 years, actually like 22. They're friends of mine. 22 years. So he didn't feel like trying to get the certified copy from the state of Florida. So he's like, what's the workaround? So I always got a workaround, because that's just how my mind works. So
but with the apostilles, it's not always a workaround.
Yes, and that's what he found out the hard way. So Angela already told me up front. She said, "Hey, y'all can do that." And I'm gonna tell you what I did for the workaround. What we did for the workaround was we ran it as a I use a lot of bank jargon. We processed it as a certified copy. The state of Georgia was cool with that. I didn't even think they were going to do it, because don't forget it's a birth certificate. But they let the translated copy, because it had to be translated into Spanish. It was in English. It had to be translated into Spanish, and they let it go through. Georgia did, as a certified copy. Welcome, everybody. We're talking about mistakes to avoid doing apostilles, okay? So this was a doozy. So anyway, my client insisted that, hey, I don't feel like being bothered. I ain't ordering no certified copy, et cetera, et cetera. So I said, well, I'll do it this way as a certified copy. If the state of Georgia says okay, that's what we're going to do. That's what we did. They said okay. But then when they went to use it in that country, Dominican Republic said, no, stop the presses. We cannot use this. They said we need it from Florida and apostille in the state of Florida to match the certificate, marriage certificate. Now I got to go back to the client. Now they got to pay more money. And it was a nice amount of money, because you got to pay. Now we had to pay for shipping 2 ways. So let's stop the presses there. So now we have to get the original certified copy from the state of Florida. He's still like, I don't want to do it. I want you to do it. I was like, you have to do it, because I always thought the client had to order it. But then I find out, guess what? I had a copy of the original. I had all the information needed. Guess who ordered it? The kid. So I ordered it for him, and it came back in like 2 days, literally. I was like, Florida is on the ball, okay? So now I can add that actually to my business page, that I can help them to get it ordered, okay? And I don't know if all states are equally easy, but we went through Vital Records. So it cost him $20 for the copy and $20 for delivery. Okay. And I didn't charge him my full rate for processing it, because that's a whole nother transaction. Now you want me to sit and order it for you. So you got to remember, clients will pay you for ease of process. And a lot of times they are not trying to be bothered. He was insistent, I'm not going to do it. You do it. He didn't care what the cost was. So now we have to go back to the client. I have to order it, which I did. It came 2 days later. Now I have to get the person in Florida, my contact there, to actually take it to the Secretary of State, fill out the form, et cetera, et cetera. So it ended up costing the client over another couple $100 in order to get it done the correct way. So the first way cost him the translation, and we didn't use the courier. So the first way cost him about $50, and now we're at another $250. So our apostilles guys pay very well, as you guys have heard us say in the past. They really do. So again, my client, because he didn't want to do his part, it ended up costing him more money. Time is money, and he's using my time. So now we got to add that fee on. So again, for me, it was training, because I didn't mind ordering it. I did at first, I'll be honest. I didn't want to order it, because I didn't know how long it was going to take. I was like, I don't feel like being bothered with this no more than he did. Because when you start asking and requesting for certified copies of official documents, it could be a pain. Okay. So I was like, I don't feel like doing it. So anyway, I decided to go ahead and do it because he kind of pushed me into it. Again, he's a friend. And I use it as a training, as a lesson. So now I can order. So somebody don't want to be bothered, I said, I can do it for you. And I'll tack on another $50 an hour to do that. It didn't take an hour, but I try not to do anything under $50. So I try not to. So any what lessons can we learn from that little story? Angela, anything you want to add about what happened with him?
Yes, because when Kim called me, I kind of said that, not kind of, but you have to remember with the apostilles, doing what the client says, and they really don't know anything about apostilles. They don't even know what the purpose of it is and why they have to do it. The important thing is what's going to happen when they get that document in the other country. And so when they try to tell me what to do, like he was saying he don't want to do this, I tell them, when you get to the other country and they don't accept it, you're going to have wasted your money. So first lesson is, don't let them tell you what to do or how to process it when you should know, or you know how to process it. Because I tell them, you're wasting money. And when you get over there, it's highly likely that they are not going to accept it. I just tell them they're not going to accept it. And I'll tell my story when Kim get through, but I just tell them they're not going to accept it.
Yeah, and he did kind of bully me into doing it the certified copy way. And it wasn't just him. I talked to somebody else about it too, and they besides Angela, and they felt too if they've done a lot of documents in the Dominican Republic and they thought it would go through. So to Angela's point, I tend to, if I know something, like I had a client today say, "Hey, can I use my spouse as the witness on my father's power of attorney?" Well, I know that you should not use family. So I told her it's highly, highly, highly not recommended. Not an attorney, so I can't tell you what to do. Okay. So if I give you all that caution like that, you still want to do what you want to do, then I can't. I'm not the power of attorney police. I'm not the witness police. I'm not the apostille police. So I'm gonna still do it. And then, like in this case, and I told him straight up, and he was aware that we might have to go back and pay more money. And that's what the person that is helping me in Florida said. They said, when you warn somebody like that and they want you to do it anyway, that means they got disposable money where they can go ahead and pay it again. And that's what it was. He didn't blink. I said, we need 250. He zailed in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? So I try to, like Angela, I try to save you money and time on the front end, but you going to do you. Let's do it. All right, Angela, what's your story? What else happened?
I had a very similar story to Kim's 2 days ago. Actually, beginning of the week. Guy going to the Dominican Republic. He's getting married. He had bought the ring, everything. He had like 6 documents that he needed to be apostille and translated. So I told him, oh, he had a New York birth certificate. Everything else was Georgia. I told him everything else can be apostille in Georgia. He had a New York birth certificate, and I told him this birth certificate has to go to New York. And he was like, well, is there a workaround? Can we do? His friend told him, you can use a certified copy. I told him, no, you can't. I said, you can use a translated copy of the birth certificate that can be apostille in Georgia, but you cannot use a certified copy of a birth certificate to be used in Dominican Republic. And so he was like, okay, well, just try it. I said, you're going to be wasting your money. He listened to his friend. Because I know the people at the apostille office, when I took the documents down, I picked up the translated copies from the translator, took them to the apostille, and I told the lady, the clerk, I said, you can't do this, can you? She said, no. I said, I just had to ask so I can be honest and say that I asked and I couldn't do it. And so she laughed, but when he came to pick the documents up, he was mad. He wasn't mad at me because he said he should have listened to me. He said, I listened to my friend who told me I could do it. He said, you kept telling me I can't do it. So now I ain't going to tell you how much money he wasted. He wasted all this money for 6 or 7 documents. I can't remember. He went to the Dominican Republic today. So I did try to help him. I said, when you go to the DR, I said, confirm everything. I said, but they're going to tell you this. And I said, when you come back, we'll order your birth certificate and I will order it for free. I told him I would order it for free because he paid me a lot of money. I said, then we'll apostille it and it should be back within the 6 months. Because this is the other thing with documents, like what Kim is dealing with anybody who's apostilling documents. Some authorities will only accept documents apostille from a certain date to a certain date, from like maybe 6 months or a year. So the same thing happened to Kim, happened to me. I told him he couldn't use the document like that and it wouldn't be apostille. And that was the story. He left today to go see his fiance, but they're not getting married this week.
I'm going to give you another mistake to look out for too. I did another one. This has been some months back, and the notary forgot to put her initial in there. I think it was her initial.
That was one of mine.
That was you, Angela?
No. That was one of the things I was going to. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You had the same thing happen.
No. Well, actually, yes, I did.
So this is a common mistake, guys. This is a very common mistake. And again, when it comes to apostilles, you hear us talking about, not just us, everybody talk about $500, $600, $700, $800. It's real money. It really is. Now you can see the complexity of these jobs. They're not complicated, but it is complex and you need to know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. So another one I had was a client, for example, their name was the notary, John S. Smith, and they put John Smith. That's incorrect. If your notary commission says John S. Smith, that's how you need to sign that document, because when you're checking it on the back end, it has to match. So that's why we always say the fundamentals of doing any part of this notary business, even serving as a courier, because I saw something earlier, somebody said they'll serve as a courier, but they're not responsible for anything else. Even serving as a courier, you need to know your notarial duties, in my opinion. You don't have to be a notary, but if you're a great notary where everything starts, then you'll know what to look for. So the courier that I was referring to earlier in another group, they said, well, hey, I'll be your courier, but I'm responsible for nothing else. If you courier down there and it's not correct, now your person that you're couriering for is going to be upset, which it started with them anyway, but just say they didn't check it. Even if I'm the courier, I'm double checking the notary's work before I take it down there, because I'm wasting my time and the client's time, right?
I don't know if I'm going to do all that.
Oh, you wouldn't check the notary's work if you the courier?
Well, let me change what I said.
I know that's not true.
No, listen. That's why I said let me change what I said. I don't know if we should expect that from a courier. For me, because I know, yes, I would look at it. I would call the person that said this isn't correct. But I don't know if we should expect that from a courier, because
no, I didn't say we should expect that from them. I said if I'm the courier.
Oh, okay.
And I said if you want to be a great courier and a great notary. That was my point. Yeah, I wouldn't expect the courier to know that. When I'm sending other notaries work, I presume they don't even know what they're doing. And I try not to send work to people I don't know if I haven't trained them.
Right.
I don't just refer work to anybody, because I already know 99% of the people are not doing things correctly.
Right.
So to Angela's point, I don't never assume that you know what you're doing. I assume you don't know.
Right.
That's real talk. So, but my point was, as the notary that I am, the notary professional that I am, and I want you to be, I expect you to know your notarial duties. So as you're doing even courier work, you can check it before. If they didn't send it closed, of course, we're not going to open the package and look at it. But if they're sending you the documents, then I'm going to just put my eyes on it and make sure it's correct before I get down there and they reject it. So I'm not expecting the courier, and I'm not saying that for other people too. The courier, that is not your role. Right. Okay. But again, we're going above and beyond in our businesses, and we're bossing up, and we're going to know what we need to do. Okay, Angela. So the point is, the way you sign a document and the way you sign it to state needs to match.
And also just improper notarization, period, because I have this gentleman in Virginia. He always sends me his documents to be apostille. He does business in Spain. And I was dealing with the attorney, but I deal with him correctly. The attorney is in Spain. Last time, a couple of weeks ago, he sent me a document, FedExed it to me. And when I got it, it wasn't notarized properly, because a Virginia notary has to notarize it. It wasn't notarized properly. And because it wasn't notarized properly, it took longer for the document to be apostille, because he went to the bank, told the guy it wasn't notarized properly. The guy who notarized had attitude. I said, they're not going to accept it. And my client understood it, but the person who notarized it didn't understand why it wasn't notarized properly. Well, that's because he never had notary training, and you just can't stamp a document and sign it when you're going to get it apostille. And so that led to like a 3 or 4 day delay on processing his documents, which needed to be in Spain, at a certain time. So he had to go to the bank, get another copy of the document. The bank didn't know what to do, so he had to find another notary to notarize it who knew what they were doing and then send it back to me. So it's like another whole 4 or 5 days. So if somebody else notarized the apostille and you are processing it, or the apostille facilitator, you have to make sure that that person notarized the document properly.
So, to my point, you need to know how to be a great notary. A lot of people will say you don't have to be a notary to be an apostille agent. And again, you do not. That is not a requirement. Okay. However, if you want to make the money that we talk about, you need to be great at everything you touch, everything you do. You guys can go ahead and start dropping your questions in the chat, because that was my last tip. I don't know if Angela had another one. If not, please go ahead and drop your questions in the chat. And while we wait, I want to let you know, if you have not heard about my Start Your Notary book, check it out. It's available for all 50 states, and it will take you step by step how to start your notary business. Okay. And then also, if you've not heard about my new business coaching success program, you want to check it out. It's only $39.99 per month. We meet every week, and we focus on how to properly notarize documents, how to price your services, how to market, how to do estate planning, trust packages. We're doing deep dives into everything. In addition to the weekly training, you have access to my 8 courses, which go along with it. So you got to check that out. If you have not, there's the Business Coaching Success Program. And we do have a private community also. So you're able to drop your questions in there as you're going through the courses, as you're throughout the week. All right. So check that out. The Notary Business Success Coaching Program. I'll let Angela tell you about her Apostille Training and the mentor program. So the Notary Business Coaching Program is kind of designed for my newbies and those who have just not gotten their business off the ground yet, and you need a little extra training. Okay. So she can tell you about the other program. And again, everything is at notaryeducatorsllc.com. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the chat too. Notaryeducatorsllc.com. Okay. All right.
And we also have the advanced notary mentorship, which is for people who started their business. And we really walk and also have taken our training, whether you take it online. We have the online notary training. We have the live notary training via Zoom. So if you are, it's like Johnny on the spot. If you need help with documents that you're about to go and help notarize for a client, any questions you have regarding documents you get, or how to do it, or what, any questions. We also have a private group chat for the documents. Any questions you have regarding your business. Now, this is not the notary mentorship business, because like Kim mentioned, that's for more new students and people who need help with the additional training. So we have the advanced mentorship training. We have the Notarize Like a Pro online. We have the Apostille online course. And when you when you buy any of our courses online, they're yours to keep forever. And you can get the Notary Journal or Notary Journal from Amazon through our website at notarization.com.
Yep. So we got the book collection. You can look at that, and the journals, the specialty journal where you can record all your specialty work too. So quite a few products to help you to start and grow your business. And I do want to add one little piece when it comes to owning of the courses. There are the individual courses that you can buy, but the business success, you have to be a member to continue to have access. Okay. As long as you're a member, you have complete access to all 8. And the course library is constantly growing. I'm including little overviews about the apostille business, just a little overview about loan signing, and then for the deeper training, wedding officiant, all of these different things are coming. So we will be able to cover you just about on everything except remote online notary right now. And as I've already promised the group, I'm not opposed to bringing an expert on when we get to that point. Okay. So we do have a few questions here, Angela.
There's one more point though. We also have not Notarize. We have Notarize Like a Pro. we got the Apostille Training, and we also got loan signing agent training, online courses. So all those courses you can get online.
Yes, and they're individual. You can get whatever you want. Because I had that question come up recently. A la carte. Can I mix and choose what I want? Of course you can. You can pick whatever you want. So you may say, you know what, I need the apostille training, but I don't need loan signing. You could buy the apostille course. If you need loan signing, but you don't need notarize like a pro, you buy loan signing. So you can buy whatever you want. That's why our main advice to you when you come to the website is just kind of play around with it. Take your time in choosing what you want to purchase. The descriptions are very clear. Okay, the descriptions are very clear. Angela, let's get
Joanne, I think Joanne.
yes.
So Joanne says this may be a crazy question. No question is crazy, Joanne. But I know one of you said for the apostille that you did, it was 6 pages. Do you charge by page or is just one full amount? So I think I mentioned I had 6 documents. But even if the document was 20 pages, you charge by the document, not by pages. So it doesn't matter how many pages are in the apostille, you charge by the document, not the number of pages.
So to add a little clarity to what she's trying to say is if there are 6 different documents, so you may have a power of attorney, which is 4 pages, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one document. And then you may have a will, which is 6 pages. That's one document. So now you have 2 documents, but it's a total of 10 pages. So you might have to go back and rewatch this, okay? So now you have each document consists of however many pages it is. Again, I'll just say that really quick for the people in the back because that was a quick. If you have a power of attorney, it's 2 pages. That's considered one document. Okay. But then you have a will that's 6 pages. That's also one document. So when you go to charge your client, though, you're not charging for 8 pages. You're charging for 2 different types of documents. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then then you give them a total. I don't tell my client it's well, you know what? Let me take that back. I was gonna say I don't tell them that. I don't tell them it's just a flat $400. That may sound something like, okay, the first one is, and these are just numbers, so don't tell your client $400. I'm just saying some numbers. For example, your client, the first document may sound like, Mr. Smith, that'll be $200. And for the second document, I can give you a discount, or the second document will be 100, or whatever you come up with for a grand total of dot, dot, dot.
Right.
Okay. So the way you explain it is how you explain it, but I just like to always give real life scenarios.
Right.
And we do that in the Notary Business Success Coaching Program and the Mentor Program. We do real life scenarios. Last week, we had a really good time in the Mentor Program. That's for the advanced. We did some mock role playing regarding pricing, I think it was. Yeah, it was regarding pricing last week. So we did some mock role playing regarding pricing, like the client called me or vice versa. How much would you charge for this? So both of the mentor programs that we have, one is coaching, one is mentor. What's the difference? Really quick. Coaching is I'm taking you step by step, guiding you along the way. The mentor is you already got some of the stuff under your belt, but now we're going to just help you when you need some help. Kind of like Simone Biles is my new example. She got to get out there and get it. She already knows she got to practice. She already knows she got to do whatever, but she has a coach, right? The coach takes her step by step on certain things. But then you may have the mentor is like you already know what you're doing, but you might get stuck occasionally or something. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So both programs are excellent. So check them out again at notaryeducatorsllc.com.
Yeah.
All right. Next we have Sable.
Sable says, do you yourself ship apostille documents back to the client? So it depends, Sable. If the client is out of state, I do. I've had clients in South Georgia, New York, Florida. Like I said, I got a regular client in Virginia. So those clients, I FedEx the documents back to them. Except for my client in Virginia, sometimes he'll ask me, can I FedEx the document to Spain? So I usually send the document directly to Spain to his attorney. I've had clients come to me and the document needs to go to Honduras or need to go to Mexico. They say, can you send it? And I'll send the document to wherever they want me to. But it depends. Some people pick them up for me. Sometimes I deliver. I'll charge a delivery fee. So it depends on what the client wants. I've had clients recently like in Georgia. And so they'll send it to me. I'll send them a FedEx label. They'll send it to me. And when I finish apostilling it, I'll send it back.
Yeah, and what I like to do too is if they are local, I don't just send it to them. I like them to pick it up. I like to go over it with them. I like to
Mm-hmm.
explain what they should do with it. Because there are certain things, even once they get the apostille, it's not over. You got to tell them, what not to
Mm-hmm.
do here, do
Mm-hmm.
this, do that. So that's why we charge so much money for apostille, guys. It's not just one and done. It ain't just stamp a paper and keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of moving parts.
Right.
So for me, I like to physically take it to them. I have them sign my journal that I gave it to them. That's something else I started doing. Angela, I don't know, you can tell us that you do that too, but I write in my journal, like for example, I have a lady, I did 6 documents for her going to Panama. She's also relocating. A lot of people relocating.
Mm-hmm. To different
She's
places.
going to Panama. So I had 6 documents. So I wrote in my journal the type of each document that it
Mm-hmm.
was. It was a power of attorney.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was her retirement letter. So I wrote each document in my journal. And then I let her sign that she got all 6 back. Now, one of them we actually did a redo because her attorney, short version, made a mistake on one of her beneficiaries. So we went ahead and got the first one apostille, but since I had to go back down to the office and do something else for her, I got her a new copy of the correction with her correct beneficiary person on the front page.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I wrote that in my journal too when I brought her back the redo, and I let her sign that she received them. So if she loses them for some reason or whatever, she can't come back and say, "Well, you didn't give me my documents," because people forget. And sometimes they don't use them immediately too. So they might
Mm-hmm.
have lost them. The dog ate them, like kids with their homework, the dog ate it. And she
Mm-hmm.
tried to come back and say, "You didn't give me my 8 documents." Oh no, baby. Yes, I did. And here's the signature. So I have them signed. Do you, Angela?
I do, but in certain situations, like I said, I've even had people from Alabama because fortunately for me, I have a lot of clients that refer me to their friends to me. I had a guy call me from Alabama, said my friend there, Shane, he said you can do apostilles. I can't find anybody. Can you do it for me? I'm in Alabama. I said sure. So the way I handle that is when I email them I have a apostille request form. I email it and have them sign it because I put on there what documents, what country. Because my main thing is I want them to sign saying you told me that you are apostilling these documents for this country. Because if it is supposed to be for a federal and I send it to state, I don't want them to say, "Oh, I didn't tell you that." But on the other hand, when I send it back to them, I just have them email me that I received all documents. These that answer. I send an email and they respond, confirm receipt of all documents because they can't sign, and so they just sign the email basically. And I just print it out and put it in my I got a file cabinet folder. So yes, I have them sign for everything in my book, unless they're out of town or far, like 2 or 3 hours from Georgia. Last week I had 2 people. Where were they from? What part of Georgia were they from? I can't remember, but it was like 3 hours away, and they sent me their documents. One of them was able to email it because it was a federal document. But they sent me their documents by FedEx. I had them apostille and sent them back to them.
Go ahead, guys, and don't forget to drop your comments and questions. We're going to hang out a little while longer. And to Angela's point, too, as long as you have some kind of paper trail, get this gem, guys. You need a paper trail that the client received their document. It could be a physical signature,
Mm-hmm.
wet ink in front of you, or the email paper trail. Thank you, Mr. Smith. I'm glad you received your 8 documents.
Mm-hmm.
And he don't have to say yes or no, or you might even put that in your email. Mr. Smith, confirmation you did receive your 8 documents. Please respond to this email. If
Mm-hmm.
he don't respond, I'm sending it back. Second request.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to make sure, because we're talking big dollars here, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to be responsible for somebody's $800 job. Okay,
Right.
I'm not trying to be responsible. So I need. Oh, I will tell you. We don't have any question. Well, we do have a question. Let's get the question, and I'll come back and tell you something else I did.
So PG says, where does the max state charge come into play? So that's the great thing about apostilles. It's not regulated like the notary charge. You can only charge so much, a certain amount, a certain fee. The apostille is not regulated by any state charge.
Can you
So
say limitless?
But we want to be reasonable. So there's a reasonable amount that you can charge, but it's not, there's no regulation as you can only charge $50, 75, 100, 125, 200. There's no regulated state charge.
No, I have a student right now in the program, and in her state, her general notary work is a little capped. Okay, it is. But I told her she need to really focus on apostilles because there is no cap on that. Now, one more piece of that fee part, PG, is like, for example, in Florida, it costs $20 for the document to be apostille. Now, that fee is maxed. That fee is $20. You can't tell your client it's going to be $2, it's going to be $3. In Georgia, it's only $3, the fee to actually do the apostille. Okay. What they're paying for is convenience.
Right.
They're paying for convenience, guys. Convenience and service, all the things that we've already talked about. Next is Joanne.
Yeah. You're welcome, PG. Joanne said, I'm definitely coming as soon as I get my job situated. I will not touch a document until I take your class.
Please don't. Please don't.
To Joanne's point, another thing is you have to know what questions to ask the client in order to process the document correctly. Number one, because you have to know what country, and depending on what country, is to what process it goes through or what you're going to do. You have to be able to tell a client if they want you to do something that you can't do that because that's not the way it's done. So if you don't know that, then you can't tell them that, and you can't process their documents. And all of that is in our apostille training class, online or in person via Zoom. All of those questions are answered in our training.
Okay. So what other questions do we have?
Oh, she says she's in Conyers, Georgia.
Conyers. Okay, cool. And she agrees with everything we said. So again, we got you covered on all training aspects at Notary Educators, from basics. You're just starting out. There's no need to be afraid of documents. The way we teach you how to be able to notarize anything. If you have not seen my video doing even a piece of toilet paper, you can notarize a piece of toilet paper. Okay, so again, we're all about you knowing how to properly do things. We're not about being quick. We always say we're not doing microwave meals over here. We do slow cook Sunday dinners.
Right.
So don't quit your day job thinking you're gonna make $10,000 in a month. Okay, don't do that. Don't do that. And a good way to get started too, because I had somebody asking a question earlier. They wanted to go buy their printer. They want to go buy all this stuff. I'm like, let's pump the brakes. Let's learn what we need to do. We'll even tell you what supplies that you need to have. Okay. Because a lot of times people just go buy all this stuff. This girl, she reached out the other day, and poor thing, and she says, she's so cute. She says, I got my commission. Should I get e-business cards or paper cards? I'm like, none.
Do you have a Google page yet? Do you
do you even know how to notarize? Do you know what you're doing? Nothing. No. Stop it. Stop.
She said, stop.
She's like, which kind of business card do I need? You don't need no business card. Right now, you need to know what you're doing. Okay. Let's see here. We have PG says, do you know if Rockdale or Newton County are still giving out commissions? Do you know, I heard that there was a moratorium, which means they are not giving them out. I believe it was Rockdale. Was it Rockdale or Newton?
I think it was Rockdale. I'm not sure if they're still giving them out, though, but I did hear that there was a moratorium.
I heard that. You know what? Let's Google it right quick.
Okay.
Let me see. I did. And I was like, what do you mean they can't get their notary commission? Moratorium. Let me see. Notary. Because I did hear that. And I'm like, what do you mean they can't get their notary commission? I don't see anything, but I did kind of hear that from someone before. So I'm going to pray that's not true. Because, yep. Oh, no, that's on drinking something. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. So you have to go out there and find out. That's your homework assignment.
But I will say this. All notary commissions are actually approved through the Georgia Superior Clerk Authority. So I don't know if there's a moratorium on right now.
There was, Angela.
I mean, I heard that, but I'm saying I don't know if it is right now.
Oh yeah, I don't know either, but it was. It actually was. Joanne is cracking up over there. Hey Drea, Drea's in the program. What's
Hey,
up? What's
Drea.
up? PG says, "Oh snap! Probably because it's now a black job." Oh my God, we are not going there,
What
PG.
does that mean? I don't even know
We
what
are
it means.
not going there. Angela, you clearly have not been watching TV. We'll talk offline because we're not getting ready to go there, PG. We are not going there. But
You're right.
LOL, because that is hilarious.
I have not been watching TV. I was out of the country, and then I have not been watching TV since I
Oh,
got back.
that's true. We ain't getting ready to go there on my platform, but that is hilarious. So PG says I'm gonna find out. I'll tell you later, Angela. Okay, hey Joanne, Joanne, is it? It is true. Okay, so anyway, it is true. Okay. Oh wow. Okay.
Oh, Joanne says it's true. Oh, PG
PG
says
says it's true.
so. Are you already a notary, PG?
And go ahead, those that are just joining. If you have a couple questions, we can hang out a few more minutes. And then Angela, I don't know. We didn't discuss how long you can hang out, but I was gonna stay about another 10, 15. So
Good.
yeah. So guys, we got a few more minutes with you. Sable
Could it
has a
be because,
question.
could it be because too many notary errors? It may be because it's too many notes. I
Mm,
remember Kim at one time. I can't remember what county it was complaining because so many people were applying for notary commissions.
that's what it is. I
I
think
don't
they
think
don't
it's
want
notary
nobody making
errors.
no money. That's what I think.
I don't think it's the notary errors. I think a lot of
It
people.
ain't no errors because they don't even know what's going on with errors. It's
I
not
think it
that.
was. I think a lot of people were applying for notary commissions.
I think too many people finding out about the industry. The secret is up. The gig is up. So now they're trying to stop it. That's my opinion. And again, I don't want to go too much off the beaten path because that's not my role. But yeah, it ain't regarding notary errors, okay? Because they don't even know what's going on with it. They just tell you to go. If they was concerned about errors, they would give you some training.
Right.
Um, no, not about the black job. No, not about the
We're
commission.
not gonna talk about that no more.
Paycheck free digital living says I joined at $39.99. Will it give me access to the live apostille training as well? No, apostille is not included in that. Mm-mm. Nope, it is not included. Not yet. We're working on stuff, trying to see how we can do some things together with that part, but not as of yet. It's not. Same with social workers getting their BSCW. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. So what I've been telling people though, paycheck free digital living is the way the business coaching success program is designed. You know, you stay in it for a little while, get everything you need, and then you can move on to the next thing that you need to work on. If you wouldn't really want to do apostilles, I would always recommend Angela has a self-paced course too.
Mm-hmm.
So because you're not going to find everything you need for $39.99, and me doing the $39.99 has actually been a blessing to so many people. So there's no way we can even afford to give you every single thing about the notary business for that price. I give you everything you need to start the business, to add additional services. They got the ink. I have the ink fingerprinting course. I have the I-9 course. I have the translation services course. I have videos on apostille and long signing. I have everything because I got almost 1,000 videos on this channel, if not more. So we try to give you as much as we can, but you do have to invest in your knowledge in your business. There's no way around it. You have to. So the $39.99 with access to all the courses has been a true blessing, again, to most people, because they couldn't even afford my one course. Like my bundle was like 400 and I think it was 458, and it gives you everything. I mean, trust packages, state packages, everything. So the $39.99, it's really been working out. The feedback has been amazing, and it's really making me feel good. I didn't know what would happen when I went to that business model. I did not, but I have no regrets, and I know the number of people that I'm helping, and they're telling people. I had a lady call yesterday. She was like, I got 4 friends that I want to tell about your program," and I'm like, cool. So each one teach one, and I win, you win, we all win. So it's been great. But yeah, unfortunately, that is not included. Apostille or the long signing also is not included. But most of my people are not even ready for that. Okay, we got to build up to that. They're not even ready. They don't even know what a commission is. No shade, but that's just fact. So we're working on it. Okay. It's a monthly fee. Yeah, it's a monthly fee, $39.99 per month. Let's get the rest of these questions, and you can cancel at any time, no obligation. Oh, I will answer this other thing too. I get a lot of some people say, "Well, Kimmi, I really just want to watch your videos. I don't want access to the coaching. Is that okay?" And they feel guilty that I'm allowing them to watch the videos for $39.99 without purchasing, without being committed to the course forever. That's okay. I When I did the program the way I did, I knew some people would take full advantage of everything, others would not. So don't feel bad if you want to just pay $39.99 and watch the videos. Knock yourself out. Okay. And you can cancel at any time again, but just 3 days prior to the next billing, you need to cancel. And that's on both of our mentor programs. Okay. So let's go back up there. I think right. It's 6:44, right?
Yeah. So to be clear, the customer must send you the documents and you send the documents back to them if they are not close to you. Yeah. So if the customer, I did have one customer that was 2 hours away. I actually had a customer that was 3 hours away, drove to Atlanta and gave me the documents and I sent them back to them. They did not want to mail it. But anyway, but yes, I always recommend them to send me the documents and I will send them back to them. So to close the deal for me, I will send them a FedEx label. I'll create a FedEx label and send it to them. And everyone that I've done that way, they've always sent it to me. So yes, unless they're going to drive, which they probably won't, send it. You make it easy for your customer so you can get the business and so you can do a good job. That's part of securing the client, is to make it easy for them. You tell them what you can do for them because they don't know. So yes, bless it. Send it to them, the FedEx label, so they can send it back to you. And of course, all that will be a part of your charges.
So, how long is your general notary class? So, the way the program is set up, PG, is you have access to all of my 8 trainings. What I'm hoping you will do is start out with Notarize Like a Pro. That's going to teach you how to properly notarize. And you kind of self teach throughout the program, in addition to the live trainings that I do. So, we've been running about 90 minutes per week. I teach like about maybe 30 to 40 minutes. And then the other half of the session it depends on the topic too. Sometimes it just depends on the topic. But the second half of it is definitely coaching. So, like for example, if you watch Notarize Like a Pro and you still have a few questions, you could either put them in the chat, which is 7 days a week. I won't say 24 hours because when I get ready to cut it off, I'm not talking. Y'all can keep talking. But I'm very active in the chat. But anyway, so you watch Notarize Like a Pro, for example. Then you have a few questions. At the next session, you can either ask me your questions, you can email me while you're going through the program, or either you can put them in the chat. Either way, I'm there to assist and make sure that you are getting the knowledge that you need. And another reason why I set it up the way I did with access to all the courses is because that way I don't have time to teach each of you how to start over, how to start your business one by one. Every single person is just not enough time in a day, right? So you help and you start watching the videos, and then by the time we talk about something in the next session, it's clearer. Like somebody might ask me about pricing. I'm like, well, watch the pricing video and then let's talk about it. Instead of me trying to explain it all to you in 10 minutes or whatever. So it's been working out really good. The reviews are amazing. I just got to get on the people to leave more reviews. But the actual sessions and stuff is going amazing. So yeah, check it out. So that's how it's designed. It's at your pace. So if you want to watch all the videos in a weekend and get your everything going, go for it. So it's at your pace. How fast do you want to do it?
So do they want the general notary class or do they want to just join the coaching?
Right. So you do have options, PG. You can do what I call Super Express, and that's going to be a live 2-hour session with Angela or Alexis. And they will take you step by step in 2 hours, like Express, and give you everything that you need to kind of get started. So that's a private lesson. We don't have any groups dates on the calendar right now for September, but you can definitely do the one-on-one, and you can get like an Express. So you got several options. That's why I said play around with the website and see which one works best for you. Okay. And next we have Paycheck Free Digital Living. I like the title.
I know.
Okay, I'm in Maryland. I thank you for helping me when I had my first apostille. It was successful, and the client was very happy as well.
Very good. You're welcome.
Is this a monthly fee or a weekly fee? We talked about that monthly. Joanne, what's up? Okay, Paycheck says okay. So I have been doing closing since COVID. Can I upgrade?
Let me.
Upgrade to what? Paycheck. What are you upgrading to? Let me know. What are you upgrading to? Rising Sign says, how do you gain majority of your clients? Google my
So
business.
Google my business, and I honestly have to say that I get a lot of referrals where people call me and said, "Oh, you did this for this person," and they said you can help me. I probably 50-50 for me. I get, yeah, probably 50-50.
And to Angela's point, I just talked about this in our mentor session 2 weeks ago. If you do good work, if you do good work and you ask for reviews, Google will work for you. You put in notary near me, guess who's popping up? You, because you have the most reviews and your reviews match what people are saying. You do good work, like Angela says, people will refer you. When I first started my daycare, I had to go up to the school the first year and I had to pass out cards and do the whole nine. Hey, I'm Kimberly. I have a daycare. But by year 2, 3, and 4, I didn't have to go up to the school if I didn't want to. Only when I needed children because they were telling people, hey, Kimberly got a daycare. Did you know she has one? Same thing with my notary business. I tell this story, and if you're new here, it's your first time hearing it. But I had a client and I did like 5 notarizations for her. And her sister was like, I need a notary. And she was like, oh, you need to use my notary.
Yeah, I remember that.
And she was like, I didn't even know you had a notary. So you want to be the go-to notary. And that's by doing good work, guys. That's why we are so passionate about notarizing like a pro. Notarizing like a pro. A lot of people say it's not important what you stamp on that paper.
Very.
Yes, it is.
And I'll say this about apostilles. I was thinking about it as the person was asking, was Rockdale still accepting commissions? If you can find a notary that can be your go-to notary, you still can do apostilles without being a notary. Now, it's great to be a notary and do apostilles with that, but if you can't get your notary, that shouldn't necessarily stop you from being a apostille facilitator, because if you have a person that can be your go-to notary close to you, you can definitely still be an apostille facilitator.
Okay. Let's get these last couple questions. So when doing fingerprinting, do I put the customer information in the special journal or the regular journal? Regular. Yeah, the specialty. The specialty journal was created for apostilles. It's created for a fingerprinting, proctoring, anything that's specialty work. And it's
Anything
a really nice journal. You can check it out. What you
Anything
say?
not notary. Anything not notary.
Yeah, anything not regular notary work. Clients for apostille. Oh, rising sign. Can you go back and see what she was saying? Oh, okay. I think she's saying how do you get the majority of your clients for apostille? Yeah, Google and referrals, like Angela was saying. Okay, PG says I'm gonna put it in my budget for October. The site is notaryeducatorsllc.com. I put it in there. And then Rising Sign says, okay, same. I just want more apostilles. I have a good amount of reviews on Google, mostly for loan signings and GNW. And I'll give you another tip when it comes to apostilles. I try to get my client to actually include that in their review. And if they don't include the word review, apostille in the review, like for example, I thank Kimberly for doing my apostille. If they don't say that, when I reply back, I say, thank you, Mr. Smith, for allowing me to process your apostille, something like that. So those are searchable words,
Yeah.
and that's called search engine optimization. So you want to make sure as many times as you can, you using the word apostille and make them use apostille, and then Google again will work for you.
Yep.
All right, we're going to start wrapping up here. So we do thank you guys again for all of your time. Check out all of our training options and our resources. We have free resources too. Never forget the free ones. We have the under free resources, you can check out how to get your EIN number, how to start your LLC. There's a tip sheet there to start your business. So check out the free resources. Also, we also have the free Facebook group, Notary Educators. So we try to involve everybody. If you cannot pay, it's okay. We try to help you out the best we can. Okay. So we do thank you on behalf of Notary Educators. I am Kimmi again. I look forward to seeing you in one of our mentor classes or some kind of training. Angela, you can go ahead and take us out.
Yes, so we really appreciate you guys joining us tonight to talk about, apostilles. And be sure to visit our website. There's so much information on there. You can see all our training, all our courses. We have everything you need to have a successful business and to add the special services. We even have your specialty journals. We have your regular journals. We have books for all states. We have everything you need. Loan signing, apostille. You ask for it, we got it. Just check our website out.
All right, guys. We'll see you all later, okay? Look for me tomorrow sometime. I don't know when I'm going live, but I will be live tomorrow. Okay, good night.
Bye.